to the official 2019 Carrguy and Sixfan Christmas special. My name is Jason. I am one of your co-hosts for this evening, and my other co-host is
Grant Tommy, straight Sixfan. That is Sixfan of this operation, the Carrguy and Sixfan show. Welcome everybody, and Merry Christmas.
And I'm going to mute my second feed going in there. So we've got quite a few people in the chat already, which is actually awesome. And according to YouTube, there's only 2 people watching, which kind of doesn't make sense because I see all kinds of names in the chat. So guys, first, before we get going too far, if you're here, give this chat or give this video a big thumbs up. We're hoping that it's going to be a record breaker. We advertise the crap out of this, and I hope that you can join in.
In fact, we have Project Late for Bingo dropping in, so that's how you know our advertising has worked. Is if even Paul has made his way in, and if Kenneth is watching,
well,
then
that and I sent him a reminder. Yeah, so guys, this is going to be a pretty fun show. To be honest with you, I have absolutely zero clue how long it's going to take us to get through this show, because we do have an agenda, but we do have something specific that we want to do. And part of that is giving away some prizes. So we're going to pause through the show a little bit, and we are going to give away some prizes to you guys. The only rule is you've got to be here. You've got to be in the chat to win the prize, or else we will move on and we'll draw another name. Am I cutting in and out, or is that just me?
A little bit, but I haven't lost audio the whole time. I mean, got a little choppy there, but I haven't lost audio.
All right, so we're only a couple of minutes in, and we're just going to wait just a few more minutes. Maybe what we'll do is we will, Grant, if you want to go through the chat and acknowledge some of the guys who are here.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Jason said, it is the season of giving, so we hope you guys can stick around for the giveaway portion. There will be more than one giveaway. But of course, Sean Novotaz, thank you for dropping in. He's you're one of the regulars. You're one of the long time. I wanted to say long time listeners, first time caller. But Eford Garage, America Bumper to Bumper, of course, our friend Kip there in the Northeast, and then we got Rust Belt Mechanic, Paul Riccardi, as we mentioned, Nick's RC, Lena Music, and if I've missed anybody, Jason, let me know. But I think that kind of Andy Austinson. I wanted to say Ostensen, but I'm like, no, I'm making up vowels there. So, welcome everybody. We appreciate you joining in. And then now Art Cricket has just jumped in here at the end. So, welcome, Merry Christmas. And we wanted to, Jason and I wanted to also kind of take bets on who we think is going to drink too much in the live chat. Because it is a holiday party, so one of us has to probably do something regrettable. Nope. All right.
So before we get going too much further, Grant, I just wanted to let you know that your audio is cutting in a little bit. So having said that, I am right into things, and we're going to get started with our 12 days of Christmas. And one of the things that we thought we would do is we thought at first we would try and have a little bit of fun with the 12 days of Christmas. And then we thought, well, it's okay to have fun, but then again, we don't want to end up singing to each other. So we figured we would take the next best thing and count down the 12 days of Christmas using certain attributes from our channel and highlighting different things that we've done throughout the last couple of years. So Junk from Work has just jumped in there, as well as Low Lids X50. Thanks, guys, for becoming a part of this Christmas special. We hope that you'll stick around because we are giving away some prizes tonight. And let's see here. Novotaz says he thinks it's on Jason's end because Grant's looks clear. Well, maybe it is me. I don't know what the deal is. I just know that when Grant was talking, he was cutting in and out a little bit. So how you doing over there, Grant?
Well, it seems to be everybody says they can hear me just fine, and so this is weird. This is weird. It's like we're flipping rules here because this is uncharted territory where I have the better internet connection. I did have the internet technician come in and we thought fixed problems, but I did do a speed test before we got started on my end, and it was a little less than what I thought it should be. So I don't know. I guess we'll keep rolling, and
Right.
we'll leave it
Well,
on
we're
those
going
in the chat to let us know.
Yep. Perfect. So Eford says, Terry Eford says is clear, and I keep seeing mine flicker a little bit here, but as long as my audio is good, that's all that really matters at this point. And if my audio is good, can everybody just type in good in the chat, and we'll just make sure that everything is fine. Okay. So having said all that, we're going to start off with round one, or day one of the 12 days of Christmas. And Grant, this one belongs to you. So why don't you start off, and I am going to attempt a screen share while you explain number one.
All right, so it'll be one Rat Rod radio flyer, and that's kind of before, of course, Project Blue Fairmont came along. That was the flagship for my YouTube channel, and that was the majority of my content before getting a Project Carr. And the thought was back then, I didn't have the space. Well, I do have the space for a Project Carr, as you know, but you know, when you're trying to make up excuses for why not a Project Carr, I figured a go-kart helps remedy that. If you don't think you have the time or space, or you need something to cut your teeth on fabricating, that's why the Rat Rod radio flyer was my project. And I didn't want to start a YouTube channel unless I knew I had something that I could consistently make content off of. And again, that is that project in a nutshell. So if you guys haven't actually seen any of my videos, the video where I first got it running or driving is probably my third all-time most popular video. It's, I think, creeping up to 50,000 views right now. So I've got 3 videos, I think, over 50,000 views, or right around 50,000. And it's in part thanks to, in fact, whatever day that video blew up, it still is the highest spike on my analytics all time. It's like not even close. My number 2 day is like 1/3 of that spike. So.
Yeah, so up on the screen there, you do have the playlist from the Rat Rod Radio Flyer, guys. If you have not seen that, go back and check it out. It's a pretty interesting series, and showing some fabrication, Grant's welding and grinding and cutting skills, and some of the troubles and tribulations he had with that. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, he did get to drive it. So that is number one on the first day of Christmas. So on the second day of Christmas is something that's going to be a little bit different, and that is simply the Carrguy and Sixfan show having 2 seasons. So that's what makes day number 2. You guys are part of that right now, and I just certainly hope that you've had fun and are enjoying everything that the Carrguy and Sixfan show has to offer.
So on the third day of Christmas, what did the Carrguy and Sixfan show give to you, Jason?
So as we move on down the line, we also have a day number 3, which is something that I did way back when I first started YouTube. And if you guys have not seen the maple syrup oil change, it's definitely something that you guys are going to want to take a look at, because the video basically starts off by telling each and every one of you that that I'm a trained Canadian, and Junk from Work can attest to this, that if you're going to change your oil, you certainly want to change it with maple syrup. And it shows me kind of doing some trick photography by sipping back on some genuine maple syrup, and then later on you actually see me dumping it into the engine of my wife's vehicle. So a little bit of trick photography there with the actual oil versus the maple syrup, but nevertheless, it was a pretty fun video to do. If you haven't seen that, you're definitely going to want to check that out. Day number 4 belongs to Grant. Grant, you want to introduce day number 4?
Yeah, on the 4th day of Christmas, Carrguy and Sixfan show gave to me, well, actually, I'm going to hit the pause button for a second because we've had some people jump in the chat here since starting. Snydertron 3000, thank you for being such a huge supporter for this show and giving us a shout out. Trucker Dave Main, I think I saw One Man Shop, and let's see, there was a couple. Corey, thanks for dropping in. I'm sure, and then Maritimer Mitch. So I think you're kind of new to the live stream. I don't recognize your name right off the top of my head, so I apologize if you've been in here before. But on the 4th day of Christmas, Carrguy and Sixfan show gave me 4 viral Jeep videos. So, like I said, the Rat Rod Radio Flyer episode 20, I think it is one of my top videos. But my top 4 is that video and then 3 Jeep videos. So that Jeep Liberty CRD that I had.
I seem to have lost the feed, so keep going.
Yeah,
Sorry.
The same thing happened to me, Jason. The live chat had just disappeared, but it came back. So, I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, so if you guys didn't know, that was kind of chapter 2 for my channel. It was Rat Rod Radio Flyer, then a lot of those Jeep CRD videos. So, if you haven't seen any of those, the number 1 breadwinner is when I lifted my Jeep. So it was a really unique build, and that just goes to show you what happens when you have a unique vehicle like that. They will find you on YouTube. So with that brings us to day 5. But before we do that, Jason, I think you wanted to do something else.
Yeah, so before we get to day 5, I see that over on the YouTube side of the live stream, we have a super chat or a super sticker coming from Robbie over at One Man Shop for $3. Thanks so much, Robbie. That's my first super sticker. And if you guys don't know what super stickers are, you can check on a little dollar sign down at the bottom. It gives you an option to do a super sticker or a super chat. And as you all know, that money goes right back into the Dale Project. So day number 5. Actually, before we get to that, we wanted to stop and just take a quick break and let everybody know that we're ready to do our first giveaway. And the first giveaway is going to consist of a leftover part from Project Bubbles. You guys all know what Project Bubbles is. And if you haven't seen that video, go back and take a look. You don't want to miss it. So this is what's left of the rear license plate from Project Bubbles. As you can see, there's a nice, neat little alder dent where it flew off and hit a tree. And anyways, I want to give this away to one of you guys. And the way that we're going to do this giveaway is you guys are going to comment with a specific word in the chat. We'll do a random number generator, and we will give that prize away to that number, the person who numbered in that order of the answer. So having said that, guys, we're going to get started here with the contest. So if you're in the chat, you've got to be here to be able to collect New Cat. This is George, by the way.
Last count I saw was 15 in the chat.
So, okay, so there's 15 in the chat. So what we're going to do is we're going to take my random number generator. I'm going to apply 15 people into that, and you're all going to comment, and whoever has that comment that the random number generator has designed will win the prize. So you guys are going to comment right now with the word George. So go ahead and put in George right now. And then once everybody's been in there, I'll hit the random number generator and see who is going to win.
And in the meantime, while we wait for you guys to comment, George, for a little piece of bubbles, we did want to open it up for questions for you guys. If you have a question you've thought of already to date, we'll kind of start to field that right now. But we'll wait and see how many of you drop George there in the comments too. In the meantime.
Yep. So roll through there, and we'll give it another half a minute or so to get you guys answering with the word George.
And I did see Snydertron, your comment up there. The same thing happened to one of my coworkers. He just bought a Jeep Liberty, first generation Jeep Liberty, off of his brother or brother-in-law, and he started Googling lifted Jeep Liberties, and that's like my lifted Jeep Liberty is a very searchable, very high-ranking video. So that's kind of funny that that she found my. So if you have any questions, I don't know if yours is a diesel or not, but if you have any questions on Jeep Liberties, I know a little bit about them, but yeah.
Okay, so we've got everybody in there. I am going to hit the random number generator, and then we'll count down from the person who started. So number 12 is the random generator. So let's go back and take a look and see who answered for the 12th time and who started. So we start with what looks like the Miniac. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And Darren's Lupus Life Without Trucking and Farming, who is new to the channel, looks like that he is the winner. So Darren, reach out to me on Instagram and or on my Facebook under the same name, Old Car Auto Guy, and I'll get your information, and we'll make sure we get this neat little souvenir from Project Bubbles over to you, and that way you will be able to say that you got that. If I've got some stickers left, I'll throw in a sticker to go with it.
By the way, some questions did roll in the meantime. 2 from Mercury Lifestyle, 1 from David McGraw. So we will start with Mercury Lifestyle, whose first question was directed at you, Jason, asking, did you ever get the rest of the lights for Project Grandma?
So yes, I did do the rest of the lights on the exterior. I didn't do any, so tail lights, backup lights, license plate lights, park lights, everything has been done on the exterior as far as LEDs. And there is a video on that for you guys to go back and check out. So thanks for the question, Mercury Lifestyle.
Second question from David McGraw, also directed at you, Jason, was asking if Nick's Garage is building a motor for you, and I'm guessing that's in response to the latest upload when he was building a 340. So, is Nick's Garage building a motor for you?
Well, as it sits right now, he is not building a motor for me, but he was gracious enough to do a quick little promo for me so that I could share that on my social media. So I think that George, who is Nick's cameraman, was going to be in the chat tonight. I'm not sure if he's here, but anyways, thank you so much for helping us with that and getting the word out for the Christmas special.
And then the final question from Mercury Lifestyle, and maybe another one's rolled in the meantime, I don't know. He was asking me if I have a Mercury as well. No, I do have a Ford Fairmont that I'm building, so it is not a Zephyr, but same thing. So in a backwards way, I have a Mercury? No? Okay, all right.
Kinda.
All
Modern
right.
day Comet.
5th day of Christmas. Do you want me to take that one, Jason, or is that designed for you?
Go ahead.
All right.
Go
ahead. 5th day of Christmas, the Carrguy and Sixfan show gave to me, or the rest of you guys, was 5 failed live streams. Wanted to poke fun at ourselves. As you guys know, season 2 was a big struggle. We muscled our way through and somehow didn't scare all of our fans off. So we appreciate you guys bearing with us through season 2. We hope season 3 will be a lot more streamlined and resembles season 1 a little more in that regards. But again, I just want to take and I know Jason, probably you want to chime in, but wanted to take the moment to just say thanks to all of you guys for making this show what it is. It's been a fun outlet for us as creators just to kind of get to know you guys better, build some community, and it's just a fun time to hang out. So
Yeah, and that's like I said, we say it in almost every live stream that we do, that this is for you guys, and if there's ever anything that you want to see us do something different, then don't be afraid to reach out to one of us, or in the chat or anything like that, and we'll do what we can to accommodate and make sure that we're doing something that everybody likes. So as we move on to day number 5, even though Grant took the last one, I'm going to kind of introduce this one as day number 6. We had talked about this long before we started the live stream, and we felt it necessary to use number 6 as the 6-piston T-shirt that Grant offers on his Spreadshirt store, and I do have that one available to show you guys in the form of a live a screen share. So let's get that up there. Grant, go ahead and talk about your shirt.
Well, and it's not just my shirt, but Jason, you have a Spreadshirt store as well. So I mean, feel free to kind of promote your shirts as well. This is just another way of saying, you know, when we were all on the well, Jason and I have a little different paths on YouTube. You know, he came in after the adpocalypse last go around. So I was monetized, you know, under the old rules, and then I lost it. And then so we started the show. It's all about that climb to 1,000 subscribers. And so when I lost monetization, things like selling my t-shirt, like this is my flagship. Am I doing this right? There we go. Flagship t-shirt, the Straight Sixfan Pistons tee. I wanted to make something that was iconic, just simple and plain, but that people might say, hey, I'd like to buy this. And in some ways, I think, like, you know, fanfare for a YouTube channel is great, but not everybody's going to fall in love with your random project vehicle, whatever that is, unless it truly is like super, super iconic, like Project Bubbles. So that was the idea with the Straight Sixfan Pistons tee. It's my namesake. It's the flagship. But then T-shirt number 2 is the 3060s 198 T-shirt shown on the screen here, paying homage to the old Slant 6 to tap in that Mopar market. So Jason, what about your shirts?
Yeah, and I wanted to, you know, let's show mine up there too as part of that screen share as well. So let me get in there and show you guys what old Carr Auto Guy has to offer on t-shirts. And you all know that I've got a couple of different ones, and the most recent one is the Dale T. And if you don't know what the Dale T is, Dale is my 77 Chevy Scottsdale C10 square body, and this is the excuse me, this is the new t-shirt that I've developed for that. Comes in all these different colors, but I also have a couple of different t-shirts. So there's the Focus on the Windshield tee, as well as the OG Old Carr Auto Guy tees, which don't seem to want to load here at the moment. There we go. So there is George climbing up on my shoulder again. And so, yeah, we have all kinds of different merchandise. You guys can feel free to shop on there. As you'll notice, the prices aren't that bad. They're very reasonable, and all we ask is that you help support us. There's more than one way to do that, and you can watch our videos, or you can help us by buying some of our merch.
Yeah, it's a great supplementary source for income. So, and that's the other part of what the Carrguy and Sixfan show is about, is giving you guys tips and tricks on how to, you know, be successful with the YouTube channel, and merchandise is a great way to kind of add that little extra flair.
Yep. So moving on from the Pistons tees and the Carrguy tees, we're going to move on to day number 7, which is the Distance to Empty Challenge. If you guys don't know what the Distance to Empty Challenge, that's a few videos that I did. I think there's 7 of them all together. Obviously, that's why I chose day number 7. That I would run a vehicle till the gas light come on, or until it said low fuel, and then we would run down till 0 miles to empty and keep driving till I run it. And I would always make it a challenge for you guys to guess, offer up a prize, and have a lot of fun with that. And not over some criticism for running fuel-injected vehicles dry of gas, but nevertheless, we did have some fun with that, and we will be doing a few more in the near future. And as we say, there's if you can't have a little fun with your videos at the expense of your vehicles, then what's the sense in doing it? So we've done 7 different distance empty challenges. I do have a playlist on that, so guys, if you haven't seen that, please go over and take a look at that as we move on to day number 8.
Well, and not to go backwards, but Paul Riccardi in the chat mentions how soft the Old Car Auto Guy T-shirt in gray is. So there you go, a real live customer testimonial right here live in the the Carrguy and Sixfan show. So guys, don't take our word for it, take Paul's word for it. But day number 8, we had 8 YouTuber collaborations. So of course, there's been a little bit of a struggle with the Carrguy and Sixfan show. That was an initiative for season 2 to do a lot more of that than what we did. But nonetheless, we've had a great history or track record of guests here on this show, not just as an interview, but sometimes, when I couldn't make the show, we had guest co-hosts, especially old Captain Ron, who we'll have to shame him for not being in here right now. But he's one of the good fallback options when life gets a little crazy on my end and the show must go on for you guys. So we just wanted to say that's something that we hope to be a little more consistent with in season 3. But we hope that you guys have enjoyed getting to know other YouTubers out there aside from just Jason and I on this show. And so that's definitely something that we've enjoyed doing, and we hope to bring you guys more.
Yeah, and just to elaborate a little bit more on the collaborations, part of creating a name for yourself is exposing yourself to new viewers, new subscribers, and by doing that, you reach out to some other great great YouTubers like Straight Sixfan and Kip. Kip and I took a trip down to Pennsylvania, met up with some big YouTubers down there as well, and it's all about putting yourself out there. If you want to grow your channel, sometimes that's what you have to do, collaborate. If you know guys that are in your area, don't be afraid to reach out to them and see if you can't put something together, because I do know for sure there's a couple of guys here in New Brunswick within a couple hours drive of me that I would like to be able to hook up with. And Maritimer Mitch, who has been following me quite a lot lately, isn't that far away. It would be great to do some sort of a collab with him as well. So.
Well, in one of the local ones to me, I did want to, he might not want me to spread this news, but I do want you guys to, Scott Speed Shop is a channel local to me, and he is actually going through some rather serious health issues right now. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers, whichever one you prefer to do there. Just wanted to kind of throw that out there. That's, when you collaborate, you also end up building relationships with these things. And so just kind of wanted to pass that along as well. So hopefully he can pull through it and come out on the other side of what he's dealing with. But just go tell him you're thinking about him at the very least.
Yeah, so that's a good thing to know. He's been posting a little bit on Facebook and keeping specifics under wrap, but nevertheless could always use some positive vibes going his way. We're now at the point of the show, guys, where we're getting ready to do another giveaway. This time I'm going to let Grant explain a little bit about what the giveaway is for this one.
All right, so this giveaway it harkens back to day 6, the Pistons tee. I will be giving away one of my t-shirts from my store. So I will let whoever wins pick whichever you would like, and we'll communicate either via Twitter direct message or Instagram direct message. So that's another stipulation. You have to have one of those 2. Facebook works if you can find me on Facebook, I guess that as well. Or how about this? My email address is in my About page on YouTube. So any of those 4 options, you can communicate with me that way. But the stipulation is I won't be probably buying it and shipping it till the new year. Just from a bookkeeping standpoint on my end for my channel, that's going to work out better that way. So with that, same thing as last, Jason will do an auto generator based on the amount of people in the live stream right now. And he will run that. So I guess the buzzword that you have to enter in the chat to be entered into this giveaway, Let's say you have to type out 6BT since it's a straight 6. That's the old 5.9 liter Cummins. Type 6BT into the chat, and you will be entered into one of my T-shirts. So start the drum roll now, and again, at this point in time too, if you guys have questions for us as we wait for you guys to comment, we'll field some questions too.
Yeah, so we are keeping an eye on the chat for questions, but let's get the contest underway first, and then we will try and get to your comments. And as those start rolling through, we see that MHF Tractor is the first to respond, along with Novotaz, David McGraw. Everybody starts coming in. So once we get a few up there, we've got 25, I believe, in the chat right at the moment. So we're going to put 25 in the random number generator, and then we will hit randomize, and we'll go from there. So we've got about another 10 seconds or so, guys, to get your 6BT typed into the chat, and we will go from there.
One thing I did catch in the comments earlier was Eric Sternberg, who's I don't know if he's missed an episode, honestly, on the Carrguy and Sixfan show. He was asking me where he can find one of these cool sweaters. It's actually almost more like a pajama top. It's a faux sweater. It's kind of like a dry fit material. It's actually pretty comfortable. You can find this on, I think it's through Teespring, but it was Instagram advertising that I fell victim to buy this ugly sweater. Unless he's asking about your sweater, Jason. I don't know. He didn't really specify.
Okay, so let's take a look at this random number generator. It looks like everybody's got their names in there. And I am going to show you guys, get to the right screen here. And find the screen. Can everybody see that? And I'm going to hit, I will hit randomize right there. Oh, look at that. Comment number 1, and I think if we go back to see who is in there, I believe it was MHF Tractor. So congratulations to MHF Tractor on your choice of the slant 6 or the straight 6 Pistons tee. And like Grant said, you can reach out to him on his Instagram or email, whichever you prefer, and he will get that information from you.
Well, I know he has all of my contact information because I actually worked on his logo for him. So we've exchanged emails several times. So congratulations. That's awesome. Mercury Lifestyle had asked too in the questions portion. If you saw that, Jason.
Mercury Lifestyle. Sorry, I did not. Let's go back.
He was asking if you're installing a system in the truck as well. I assume he means sound system.
Sound system. At the present time, no. I'm pretty focused right now on getting the aesthetics of the vehicle looked after. So we're talking the cab corners, rocker panels, as well as the drop kit. Once we get that done, then I may focus on the engine. I'll be keeping the engine that's in it for now, but we do have to address a few oil leaks so that way I can drive the vehicle. And then, of course, the AC system is not currently working. We want to get that working for the summer. Eventually, maybe, yeah. But I think as it sits right now, I'll probably likely just go with a Bluetooth speaker, throw it up on the dash, and just carry on.
Well, that takes us to day number 9 of the 12 Days of Carrguy and Sixfan Show Christmas special. And if I would have read ahead, I would have not blown the lid off of this one because I kind of did that on number 8. But we were talking about the Know Your Neighbors interviews. And so I don't know if I need to duplicate this much, so I will kind of let Jason add in where I'm not doing a good job giving commentary.
Yeah, so Know Your Neighbors was a pretty neat segment that I was lucky enough to be a part of back almost 2 years ago. Well, it wasn't 2 years ago. It was a year ago this past August, because it was my birthday, that I came home and did an interview with Grant on the Know Your Neighbors live stream, and I thought that that was quite a opportunity to reach out to some of Grant's fans. I did gain some popularity, so to speak, with that from his viewers, and it was a great opportunity to get to know each other and have a great time and just kind of a casual chit chat and kind of like what we're doing now, but on a more personal level, just kind of more one on one.
Yeah, and that was an initiative that it was kind of like the torch got handed to me from Greg's Garage. He's the coworker, big time YouTuber that I work with. It's weird because it's like I still technically work with him, but he went out to help found our Colorado office, and so it's like he's still technically a coworker of mine. I just don't never see him in the office, but like once a month maybe when he travels back to Kansas City. But and he had the torch had been passed to him from some other YouTuber that helped him grow. And so this was something that I kind of just took it as many episodes as I could, as long as Greg did. And it's not that I would totally do it. In fact, I might do one episode on New Year's Day. But I really kind of would encourage anybody in the comments, if you want to take over that kind of idea, feel free to do it, because it's a great one to help garner exposure for other channels, big or small. And we talked about it on the 8 Days of Christmas. We'll certainly try to weave in interviews for season 3 of the Carrguy and Sixfan show. It's just one of those things that you can only do so much. And it felt like the appropriate time to shut it down. And I took some things I learned from that. And then, gave the idea to Jason, let's do this Carrguy and Sixfan show thing. And I mean, I think this is the one that we like. So.
Yeah, for sure, guys. And if you're still in the chat and you think we ought to have a team mascot here, go ahead and give 3 cheers for George, my new kitten that we picked up today. He seems to have made himself right at home, is now a big YouTube star, and I think we're going to make him our team mascot. So as we move on to day number 10, day number 10 is something that happened on my YouTube channel back on April 1st. If you've been following me for a long time, you already know about this, but if you're new to my channel, I did a prank on April Fool's first thing in the morning. If you don't know, I do own my own used car dealership. So with my dad, sorry, I own it with my dad. And so I came into work, I went live on YouTube with a very sad face and told everybody that I had just been fired by my dad. And I went on like that for several minutes until at the very end I lifted my head, smiled, and said April Fools to everybody. And it was a very good video. It was fun. It gained a lot of traction. And nevertheless, that video received 10 thumbs down. And I think I got the thumbs down simply because most people didn't like the fact that I pulled one over on them. So anyways, if you haven't seen it, go back through my videos and you'll be able to take a look at that.
So, and that was I saw right through your BS on that one, but I did enjoy it because it's like, well, you've got.
Oh, don't you lie!
Oh yeah, I thought your dad of all people fired you. When, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the dealership more of your idea to start with than his? Maybe
it was kind of a mutual thing.
Okay,
but nevertheless.
Well, while you were explaining that, so it's just ironic, we talked about Jed Scott. He'd sent me from Scott's Speed Shop, and we've been talking about my t-shirts. He randomly sends me this text message because when I prototyped the shirt, I did a collaboration. So we're like touching like 3 different days of this 12 Days of Christmas thing, collaborations, t-shirts, and then the shout out. Well, so as you know, if you watch Scott's Speed Shop, he always just wears a plain black tee. And so he's like, well, I like the shirt, but that's my brand, is wearing the black t-shirt. So he gave the shirt to his dad, and he just sent me a random text that says, I finally caught Dad wearing your shirt. He does love it. And so he sent me a picture of his dad wearing a 3060s 198 Slant Six inspired T-shirt. So I just timing was impeccable on that one.
Wow.
So with that,
no, that's pretty cool. To find somebody who really enjoys and understands what's going on behind the theory of the T-shirt.
yeah, I mean, you Mopar guys are a whole nother breed. Like, it's it's like
Nuts.
my Jeep videos do the best, and I look at like Dylan McCool, Scott Speed Shop, Uncle Tony's Garage, Nick's Garage. Like, it's like maybe if you want to be successful in the car world, you should be in the Mopar field here because those guys are just crushing it. But on the 11th day, are you ready?
Yeah, so we do have a couple. We do have a couple of questions in there that we'll address before we go too much further. So, Eric Stenberg says, Jason, what's the most exotic car you've ever sold at your dealership? Exotic is a really far stretch. We don't do exotic. We do what sells. So, we've sold some pretty fancy Chevy Cruises, I tell you what. But as far as exotic cars, no, we haven't done too much in the form of exotics. Although we did have a I don't even know what the heck it is, an Infinity G45, I think is what they were called, and I believe those were an all-wheel drive or a something or other. Anyways, it was a rocket ship is what it was. It was pretty a fun little car to drive. But yeah, no, we don't do exotic at Old Car Auto. Sorry.
I was about to say, does exotic mean non-Kias? Is that what exotic means?
Let's see what else is on there. Well, you never know. Okay, so we're just going to roll through here and see if there's any questions. We may have missed a few, but guys, we're going to have another question period as soon as we end up with everything. So we're going to move on to number 11. Number 11 belongs to Grant. Go ahead, Grant, and let us know how you feel.
I don't even know if the number is accurate at this point because it's probably low, but it's 11 5-lug swap uploads. As you guys know, ever since June of this year, we're still in 2019, I have just struggled with my 5-lug swap, my brakes, my everything. It's just been an uphill battle. In fact, before Jason and I try to get on these live streams about 15 minutes early to kind of talk what are we going to do on the show, just to make sure we're on the same page, and I was a little late to that because I was actually talking to kind of a bigwig, you might say, on the Four-Eyed Pride forum I always mention for Fox Bodies. When it comes to I think he's an employee of Maximum Motorsports, which is a big Fox Body brake and suspension company. And he was convinced that I'm probably still just dealing with air in the system, probably at the master cylinder, and that the length that the fluid has to travel all the way to like my rear pistons calipers, like we're just still never getting the air out of it. There's probably, from all the things I fought, he's convinced that he thinks I need to rebleed my master cylinder. But anyway, that's going to be what 2019 is about, is me struggling with brakes and that 5-lug swap. And I will be on the other side of it at some point, but man, oh man, it sucks.
Yeah, it always seems to be one specific thing that kind of holds us back on a specific project, and we've all been there. And my wife always tells me that, why don't you get that fixed? I'm like, well, because I know every time I start something, it generally ends up in disaster. So that's why I stick to what I know, and that's mostly cars. And as we move into number 12, you guys have got to know what number 12 is for the 12 days of Christmas. Can anybody guess in the chat what day number 12 is? And I'm actually going to sit here in silence and wait for someone to answer the 12th day of Christmas.
Jason, do you want to use that as an opportunity for giveaway 3? maybe.
Anybody? I know the chat is slow, so that's why I'm waiting. Anyways, if you haven't guessed it already, I am going to do a screen share and I am going to let everybody in on what I think 12 days of Christmas should end with. And you guessed it,
Novitaz got it.
Tannerite. Kaboom.
It's there, and then it's not.
Oh my, that never gets old. Slow-mo number 3, boys. Look at that. Oh my, I still can't get over that. I smile every time I see it. I think half the views on that video are my own.
That's pretty good.
And here we go from the front of it. Merry Christmas, everybody. Woo.
Jokingly, Paul Riccardi had asked, "Is it a 12-pack of Molson's?" Which I think is pretty good. Or Moosehead.
Moosehead. So, guys, that really is going to conclude the 12 days of Christmas. We wanted to kind of highlight some of the extra stuff that we have done in the past as part of our channel, and we wanted to share that with you. Some of it's relevant to this year and what has gotten us to the point that we're at in our YouTube success, and having ended off the 12 days of Christmas with Tannerite. I just want to do a quick recap. Grant, maybe you can help me out. I'll do the first 4. So day number 1 was the Rat Rod Radio Flyer. Day number 2 was season 2 or 2 seasons of the Carrguy and Sixfan show. Number 3 was 3 maple syrup oil changes. Number 4 was 4 viral Jeep videos.
Followed by 5 failed live streams. I think is how you'd say that. 6 Pistons on the Pistons tee. 7 distance to empty challenges. 8 YouTuber collaborations. Jason, you want to bring us on home?
Sure. So 9 Know Your Neighbor interviews. 10 thumbs down on my April Fool's Day video. 11 5 oh my goodness, 5 lug swap uploads. There we go. And day 12 was 12 pounds of Tannerite. So that's it. That wraps up that.
I was just going to say, I saw Dustin Sabo jumped in the chat here late, so welcome. We are going to start to try to close this thing down with some kind of closing thoughts, but we do at the end of every Carrguy and Sixfan show open it up for questions. So guys, if you want to start thinking about your questions, start rolling that, coming up with some genius stuff right now and putting that in the chat. We will try to answer that. We do have one more giveaway to do, but before we do that, Jason, any parting shots you wanted to kind of throw out there prior to the giveaway?
Just that you guys, we're going to be starting up our season 3 of the Carrguy, excuse me, at the Carrguy and Sixfan show. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that date is January the 9th, I think we agreed on. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Set your calendars. We're going to definitely have something a little bit newer. The first episode is going to be simply just a regular show talking about what's coming up in the future. But season number 2, we do have an interview set up, and it's going to be a fairly good YouTuber, a big YouTuber who has agreed to join us, and we want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to sit in on that. So having said that, we are going to give away our 3rd and final T-shirt, or a gift, which is a T-shirt. It's going to be one of mine this time. And so if you're in the chat, there's 22 of you. So I'm going to set the random number generator at 22. And you guys, all you got to do is answer in the chat pistons. So if you just type in the word pistons into the chat, once we get everybody who has listed, I'll do the random number generator and select a winner for a Carrguy, Old Car Auto Guy, sorry, T-shirt of your choice. And
Meanwhile, while we're waiting for the t-shirt options to load, there it looks like we did have a couple questions roll in, and one thing I did want to say before we get to the questions, because some are nonsensical, I wanted to give a shout out to Eric Strindberg, who always has a good sense of humor when it comes to questions. He was asking me, when do the Boss 302 heads go on the Fairmont? Jason, I don't know if we lost connection with you. I don't know what's going on here. You're frozen on my end. Guys, let me know if you can still hear me. Can you? Is it still streaming over there? Because it's frozen on my end. Okay, well, I'm talking to my wife. There we go. Jason. Okay, he's back.
sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. My computer just froze up, and but I am back. So how are we doing on the chat as far as getting the names in there?
Well, my wife's trying to win one of your t-shirts, and she's never asked me to buy one of my t-shirts for her, so that's kind of awkward.
Okay, so I think everybody's in there. We've got 24 people in the chat, so we are going to hit randomize. And we're going to choose number 4, which is the fourth person to comment the word piston. And so we got to go all the way up. And we start with Paul Riccardi, who was number 1. Nick's RC was number 2. Impact's Garage and Gaming was number 3. And Mike N is our winner. Mike N, congratulations. You have won your choice of a Carrguy, Old Car Auto Guy t-shirt. And just message me after the show. And that way we can make sure we get your proper contact information and get your choice of the Old Car Auto Guy t-shirt out to you. So, guys, that is going to conclude this Christmas special. I hope you all had fun.
Yeah, and that was probably a new record for us when it comes to length on this show, but worth doing once a year. It is the Christmas special after all. We did want to touch on a couple of questions there at the end. So I was explaining, Jason, while you were frozen, Eric, who's usually comedic gold on these live chats, he had said you were frozen by the Nova Scotia cold, even though you're in New Brunswick. We'll give him a pass there on his geography. But he had asked me about when the Boss 302 heads are going on the Fairmont. He keeps asking that question all the time. And I'm pretty sure he knows they're GT40P heads, but he knows that Holy Grails are Boss 302 heads. They're going on. Hopefully, into February is when I'm going to do that, but that's provided that the brake swap is the never-ending brake swap is done by then. He also, so Maritimer had asked a good question, a very good question, and he'd asked, or he or she, I don't know that channel that well, what cameras you guys prefer to use. So, Jason, I'll let you kind of to start that conversation.
Sure thing. Yeah. So the camera that I primarily use, if I can get it out here without dropping it, is I've got a GoPro Hero 5 and 6 in a case on a clamp with an external mic and mic adapter. So this is what keeps the audio clear, keeps the wind off of it. But I just use GoPros. I find the quality to be so much better. You don't have to worry about things like focus. And the GoPro 5 and 6s right now are fairly reasonably priced. So this is my contraption here that I use, and it works great for me.
So what I use is Canon SL2 DSLR, and I am seeing in the chat they are saying Snydertron was actually number 4. So there must be something different because I saw the same thing you saw, Jason, in the. Let's see. Oh, nope. No, he's shows number 3 on our end, but yeah, I use a Canon DSLR SL2. It's kind of an entry level a digital SLR. I would say I think the industry is moving towards mirrorless cameras, and as each year passes, that's going to be more and more doable. The beauty of the SLR, even though it's probably phasing out and on its way out, is lens selection. So in the Canon has probably one of the widest range of lenses. That's an advantage I have, but honestly, I've halfway considered moving to a Sony brand like a A6500 if I could afford it, because it has in-body image stabilization. If you don't know what that means, it's just like an internal gimbal inside of the lens. But right now, where DSLRs still are trumping, mirrorless cameras are the size of sensors without in a price point. You usually have bigger sensors, and what sensors are is what lets the most light in. Anyway, if that was too nerdy and techie, sorry. Those are my 2 cents. I'll shut up now.
Well, no problem. So, guys, what I'm going to do is I am going to go back into the chat and I'll verify number 4 on that final giveaway. If it does vary from what we announced, I'll make sure that I make it right, and we'll go from there. So, no worries on that. I'm just not sure if the StreamYard's chat it comes in the same order as what the actual YouTube live chat does. I'm hoping that they're the same, but nevertheless, I will make sure everything is right. Having said all of that, thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this live stream for the Carrguy and Sixfan show at our Christmas special. If we can keep season 3, maybe even season 4, who knows how far we go with it, going, we'll do more of these specials. And we certainly appreciate everybody coming on and having fun. By the looks of the chat, it sounds like you guys all did. So my closing thoughts on this are, please remember the true reason for the season. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. We will see you guys all for season 3 on January 9th. Thank you, everybody.
Signing off.